I'm Amy McCluskey, and I'm the Senior Director of Events here at Grant Halliburton Foundation, and I'm also Grant's sister. So this cause and organization is obviously deeply personal and meaningful to me, and I'm just so honored every time I get to see these faces, your faces of people who want to come alongside us and do this work. It's really amazing how this has grown from an idea that my parents and I had, that maybe there are other people who need some help navigating this. Obviously a huge need, and we're just grateful that there are other people who believe in this. So thanks for being here. Julia, you want to introduce yourself?
I'm Julia Beckel. I'm the events and marketing manager. I'm fairly new. I started over the summer, so this will be my first beacon of hope. And so I'm super excited because the Hope Party was so much fun to plan. Obviously a very different event, but yes, I'm excited about the luncheon and our speakers, which Amy will get into all of that.
Really, thank you for saying yes to this opportunity and jumping in with us to help plan the luncheon. This is going to be our 15th annual Beacon of Hope luncheon, which is just crazy and so exciting that we're already at that milestone. So certainly looking at ways that we can kind of punctuate that and make this special this year. We do have a presenting sponsor, Emily Lewis, which we are so thrilled about. And so just wanted to give her a little shout out there. I know Stephanie mentioned, but Natalie Hatchett and her friend Courtney Hubbard are our two co-chairs this year. So excited to have them on board. They have just been awesome supporters and friends of the foundation. Neither was able to join today's orientation. And for those who don't know, Natalie just had a baby last week.
Wow.
She is with newborn world right now. And yesterday was her birthday as well. So she has a lot going on. But they are so excited to have such a supportive committee. So thank you guys. We also have Chris and Brent Bolding as our vice chairs. So they'll be in the driver's seat next year for the 2025 luncheon. And then we like to also underline that Barb Farmer is the founding luncheon chair. She helped us dream up this event when we had no idea how to put on a fundraising event or raise any money for a nonprofit. And so we are so grateful to her for paving the way to what we're doing today. So I'm sure, hopefully you guys saw our announcement about our speakers and all the beginning details for the luncheon, but it is going to be Friday, April 19th at the Omni downtown. And Kevin Briggs and Kevin Berthia are our two speakers. So did everyone have a chance to kind of hear or see their story?
It's amazing.
We are so thrilled. It really just kind of worked out that since they are the subjects of the Photolanthropy documentary, as we were getting involved a little bit with that and learning more, we were like, oh my goodness, how cool would it be to have these two guys that individually each have such a powerful story, but if we could have them together sharing their story,
Yeah,
I think it's just going to be a day of impact for sure.
Kevin Briggs on the left was a California Highway Patrol officer. And I think the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco was part of his beat or his assignment, but Kevin Berthia on the right in the photo was a young father struggling with some medical debt and things, and he went to the Golden Gate Bridge. This was now, I think it was in 2005, went to the Golden Gate Bridge with the intention to jump. And Kevin Briggs, they had an encounter where Kevin Berthia actually was on the other side of the railing. He was holding on, but I mean, right on the edge of, could have been a different ending to his story. But Kevin Briggs talked to him for 92 minutes over the rail, and Kevin Berthia ultimately decided to choose hope and life and come back over the rail. And Kevin Briggs, the officer, has talked more than 200 people back over the rail. So he is sometimes called the guardian of Golden Gate. And certainly each of these men in their own right has an incredible story of hope to share, but together they have a really powerful story. And so they are also being featured in a documentary that's being produced by a group called Photolanthropy that we are connected with here in Dallas. And as we were learning more about what they were doing with this film and just learning more about this story, we thought, wouldn't that be cool if they could share their story at the Beacon of Hope luncheon? So we're very excited that this is going to work out. Their 92-minute encounter was captured by a photographer for a news outlet and has now been shared around the world. I don't know if you guys have seen that photo. I'm going to show it to you. Let me click through here, just because it is really impactful to see that moment many moments that they shared together. But that is a much shared photo, and I think their story has been shared pretty widely. So and certainly has been shared a lot in the suicide prevention world, just about the power of listening. So I think that they'll really have a powerful thing to share with our attendees. So we're excited about that. I wanted to take just a couple of minutes. I think most of you know pretty well what we do here at Grant Halliburton Foundation, but I can just give you kind of the quick overview. As I said, my parents and I founded this organization back in 2006, following the death by suicide of my beloved younger brother, after his battle with bipolar disorder and depression. But we are working many years later, 17, 18 years later, we are working to strengthen the network of mental health resources for children, teens, and young adults, promote better mental health, and help prevent suicide. And our programs basically fall into these three main areas. So education is huge. We're in the schools and the community, training people on the warning signs of anxiety, depression, suicidal thinking, and training them on what to do, how to help someone and lead them to resources and help. And so that's huge. We're training students, teachers, parents, and professionals, and also doing an annual educational conference. We have a couple ways that we work kind of in that educational umbrella. Resources is another big bucket. We have our Here for Texas mental health navigation line, which I know some of you have volunteered with that before. And that is a helpline that anyone could call for information, resources, and referrals for mental health and substance abuse resources. So that's something that we were doing informally from the very beginning. People would call us and say, here's what's going on, what do I do? Or where do I turn? What's the next step for us on this journey with my loved one who's struggling? And so now this is a formalized program. Actually, in a little less than 2 weeks, we'll be celebrating 5 years of the navigation line, which is really exciting. And so that's just been steadily growing over the past years, and we're excited to reach more North Texans through that. And then support is kind of that third arm. We have support groups for moms called Coffee Days, moms and female caregivers of a young person who's struggling with mental illness. And that's just a really a more intimate resources and information that's shared in those circles. It's different. And I think the moms that come there feel like they finally have a place where they can be fully open about what's going on, and maybe get some new approaches and support in a way that they maybe can't get from other places in their life. So those are the big areas. There's lots of other programs and initiatives underneath those, but that hopefully gives you a little flavor of the overall work that we're doing and what this whole luncheon is raising money to support. So we are so glad y'all are coming alongside us in that way. We have a big staff. I wanted to show you our team. This was at last year's luncheon. We've got 20 people on staff. It's a fun place to work, but I wanted to narrow in on some of more of our events team. Just so some of the faces that you might be seeing and interacting with a little bit more closely as a member of our event committee. Kevin Hall is our president. Most of you may know him or have heard his name, but he's certainly someone you'll be probably hearing from some. This is me, introduce myself, of course. TJ Griffin is our senior director of communications. And so if you have any questions about PR or the big mass emails or anything like that, he would be your guy and certainly can help with any of our communication efforts. Hannah Kennedy, I know many of you have worked with her in the past as well. She is our development and volunteer manager now, so she's kind of moved into that role, but she will be very much interacting with and overseeing the sponsorships and reservations and things like that. So, certainly any questions about that, we'll go to her. And then Julia as events and marketing manager, you've already been hearing from her with committee communications and all that, but feel free to reach out to any of us about anything. And we are here to help support all of your efforts as we put together this event. All right, I am going to turn things over to Julia to kind of walk through the nuts and bolts of what it looks like to serve on the committee.
Yes, so I sent out several documents, and then after our meetings, we'll send out another email with all the documents, and then they're on our committee portal on the website too. But the ways to help sheet is what I'm going to go over, and that just really has like the main things as the committee that are important. And so the first one is securing raffle donations. And so you want to go to the next.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So This year, we've decided to be a little bit more intentional about our raffle solicitation and really we created a curated list of specific packages, so we know exactly what it is we're looking for. And it's very clear, these are the packages that we would use, and it's similar to what we've done in the past, just not as many as we did last year. And so you can see we have like the premier packages, which are the travel, and those are always really exciting for people. And then dine around Dallas, dining experiences, restaurant gift cards. And so Stephanie McElroy is our raffle chair this year. And so she'll be leading the charge on that, and you'll be hearing from her via email and stuff. But we are also here to help. If y'all have any questions about that, you can reach out to us to let us know what you need. But if every member of the committee is able to get a couple of items, then we'll have a really robust raffle and a really great one to raise a lot of money for
And just
the
before,
foundation.
yes, absolutely. Before we leave this raffle wish list, just since this is a little bit different than how we've done it in the past, we don't want to discourage, if you have an awesome opportunity for something that you're like, I don't see that in this framework here. Where would this fit? If this is a really cool thing, please don't feel like you can't, bring that to the table. We can absolutely still talk about, oh my gosh, that is a really cool premier package, or that's very unique and all that. But we did a lot of analysis of what has sold the best and kind of where people tend to gravitate to within our raffle packages. And so we're trying to streamline it a little bit, not only just kind of really to simplify it a little bit for our donors. And at the event, it's such a limited time to sell raffle tickets that we want it to just be clean, a little bit cleaner and simpler, that these are the packages. There's awesome stuff that's attractive to donors, and just not too much for them to be managing during that, 45 minutes or hour before the luncheon starts. So any questions about the more curated packages before we move on?
How much are the raffle tickets?
Yeah, so the premier packages are $100 per ticket, and then the
Okay.
regular raffle packages are $25 per ticket. And then we do
Okay,
have
perfect.
kind of a
I'm
price.
sorry, you said $25 and then $100?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. And there's, price breaks if you're buying like 3 for 50 or 5 for 100, something like that, where it gets a little bit, or 6 for 100, I think. I was like, that math isn't mathing. So there's a breakdown as you, if you buy more, but 100 per ticket or 25 per ticket
Okay,
is kind of the
perfect.
basic.
That's very reasonable.
And so these are two of the documents that go with the raffle solicitation. So the first one is just a letter that can be sent to different businesses or whoever you're asking. We send that to people from past years. That just kind of explains what our luncheon is and what we're about and why they should donate to us. And then the raffle donor contract is what everybody fills out. Every raffle donation has to have a contract. And that just is the basic information about what it is, who donated it, how much it's worth, that kind of thing.
Yes, and that's also available as an online form. So I think Julia may have already sent, but we'll follow up to this orientation with all of these documents so you can, print, email, whatever you need to do. So you'll have this as a PDF, but also we'll send you that link to the online form, because for some people that's easier to just type it in and generate the form that way.
So the second main thing we need from committee members is spreading the word. We obviously need y'all to help draw people to the event. And so one of the main ways to do this is to submit contact names to us for the invitation list. So just names and addresses, and you can email them to me at julia@granthalberton.org. And then obviously encouraging friends and family to purchase tickets or sponsorships or even join the committee as well.
Can I ask one more
Oh.
question about that too?
Oh, yes,
Yes,
I
yes.
think, Amy, maybe I asked you about this in previous years, but is there a way via the website when you go to buy a table, if we were to buy a table and then set it up so that people could Dutch treat and buy their individual tickets through our table, do you have a way to do that?
I don't know if our system can handle that, but we can handle that is the real answer. So we always have supporters who do Dutch Street tables. And so they typically just tell us, if you already know, oh, it's these 10 people, you can give us all the names, and then we know as those payments come in, oh, this is part of the bowling table, the Dutch Street table. And
Right.
so we can make sure everything gets assigned in the back end.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when
you can do
when
it
they
a couple
buy an
different-
individual ticket, is it still, it's $250? Is that right?
Oh my gosh.
Because I think, like, we were talking about this, because I have a group already. And
Okay.
we were looking at a table, I think is 2,500, but they were like, well, what do we do? Wait until the individual tickets open up and then go buy them individually and then you'll put them all into a table? Or should I go buy the $2,500 table and then tell you to charge everybody $250? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, so it kind of depends. The advocate sponsorship is 2,500, that's our lowest sponsorship level. Individual tickets are actually $225. So you
Okay.
you could either purchase it as a sponsor table, and if you guys wanted to do it that way, we would just handle your payments offline. You could call Julia or Hannah and they would process the
Everybody's separate.
50 per seat each.
Okay.
Or if you guys just want to buy individual tickets and we'll put you together as a table,
Okay.
you could do it that way as well. So
Okay, awesome.
So the other just general way for committee members to help is with like the physical in-person things, like when we print our invitations, we have to stuff them and seal them. And so Hannah is the one that organizes all the volunteers. So she'll send out a sign up link if anyone wants to help with that. And then we have the week of and day of things that we need help with, such as like centerpieces and the raffle display and just general help needs at the event and getting everything ready and set up.
and we'll keep, I know we're kind of giving you a lot of info, but I feel like right now the main thing is helping us get names for the invitation list and spreading the word about, sponsorships and tickets and starting to work on raffle items. So those are kind of like the main things, but there will be these other opportunities to help volunteer the week of.
Yes.
All right, some key dates to go over. Like I said, January 22nd is when we'd love to have some contact names just to give us enough time to get everything to the printer for the invitation mailing. And then February 7th and 8th, it might just be the 7th. Sometimes we knock out those mailings pretty quickly, but we sometimes have a second backup date in case we need a few more volunteer hours. But if anyone would like to come and help at our office, we'll stuff and seal the invitations. Mid-February, it actually looks like it might be late February, but we're confirming the date. We're going to do an in-person committee happy hour. So we figured with the holidays and especially with Natalie's baby timeline and Courtney living out of state now, we thought that doing an online Zoom committee orientation like we're doing today would be helpful. But then we wanted to make sure that we got the committee, had an opportunity to come together in person. So that will be super fun. We have some good plans in progress, but we'll share more very soon and get an invite out on that. So just know that we'll have an opportunity to kind of get some updates and gather together. April 1st is our deadline for raffle items. So we have a little time, but it's time to get started on some of those asks. And then of course, the 19th is the luncheon. So I think those are our main things. A couple of other documents, we do have sort of an overview. This might also be a good thing to share with potential auction donors if they want a little bit more information, excuse me, or with, someone who might be considering a ticket or a sponsorship. It's just a good overview. We do have our sponsorship levels on sale already. So we have this PDF version of the form, but everything is online now. And so really it's probably easier to just go to the website and direct people there to purchase sponsorships. To individual tickets are going to go on sale in February once invitations drop. So that's coming soon, but currently we're just selling the sponsorships.
And please follow us on social media. It will make it easy for you to stay up to date with all of our event posts, and you can repost them and share them with your friends. Yes.
And that's the URL for the event specific webpage. So you can always find the latest info about Beacon of Hope there. And again, we'll keep you guys updated via email on all the key things for sure. What questions does anybody have?
Do you have a list that you're tracking of the raffle items that people are putting their names to or anything like that?
Yes, so that's something that we are developing with Stephanie, and that'll probably come from her. We haven't had a one-on-one with her yet, but we'll make sure that pretty shortly she gets that sent out to the whole committee so you guys can make sure you're not duplicating efforts and all of that jazz. Great question. Yeah, and we, like Julia mentioned, we are gonna be sending letters to previous raffle donors that fit within our curated packages. So we'll make sure that that's all part of that document as well, that, GHF has contacted this restaurant so that you know that you don't need to hit them up. And so hopefully we can make a really clear document for that.
I had a quick question, and this may be something I actually need to do, but do you guys have like a little snippet or a little blurb that you want any of the committee members to send out when we are soliciting for raffle items? Just kind of a quick kind of synopsis, I guess, just so people can know what they were asking before they have to open the forms.
Yeah, that's a great idea. We will send that out via email. I would imagine that a lot of that language is already, we could probably just lift a
There.
lot of that from the letter, but to your point, you need it to be in the body of the email and not in an attachment that they have to
Yeah.
delve into. So yeah, why don't we'll send that as a little draft. so
Okay.
draft email. And that would
And
be,
then how many people attend the luncheon again?
we're expecting, I'd say between 400 and 500, hopefully. for-
Okay, I've been telling people 1,000, but okay.
Oh, wow. I mean, I love a
You
big.
go, girl.
Yeah, exactly. Let's do it. We had.
Get us those names.
We had 700 in 2023, but we think a lot of that was the Dak Prescott factor. And so that was our largest luncheon to date. Before that, our largest was more like 500. So we anticipate being in that 400 to 500 sweet spot. But I think that we have a good following. We have a lot of attendees that love this event, but with names that aren't as well known, like Kevin Briggs and Kevin Berthia, that's why we feel like the more y'all can help us just tell their story and get people excited. I really think it's going to be a special presentation for those who are there.
But we're excited to have so many people joining us to help make all the things happen. And I think it's just going to be exciting. So it'll be really great to get people, get us all together in February so we can at that point
Yes.
have more of a touch base on here's where we are with raffle, here's what we still need, here's where we are with sponsor tables, and kind of give those updates and get excited about all the events that will be a little bit more formed at that point.
Thanks for putting together such great content. I've already been talking to people and they're so excited. So,
Good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to each of you. We appreciate you. Hope you all have a great night and we'll see you soon.
Thanks so much.
Thanks.